Now the sign was for Aurora, Nevada, and Aurora is now a not even a ghost town. It's just ruin, not even ruins. It's just hardly anything there. Maybe a few bricks in the dirt and a really cool old cemetery. Any real trace of town is gone. Anyway, Aurora is in Nevada, really close to the California border. And there was a time where the surveyors hadn't exactly defined the border yet, and Mono County, California, and Mineral County, Nevada, both used Aurora as their county seat until the surveying line was drawn right. And then Mono County figured out that, okay, we need to move our seat, and they moved to Bridgeport, which it's been ever since. In fact, they still use the historic courthouse, which is one of the 2 or 3 oldest courthouses still in use in the state. I mentioned this on a clip last month when I drove through the town of Colusa, which I think now has the third oldest courthouse. I know there's one in Hayfork that is 1852 or 3 that's still used. Anyway, so Aurora, I've always wanted to go there. It was one of my bucket list things, like going to Jarbidge. So we were riding with a guy named Rich. He's more Charlie's friend than mine, but I knew the guy, and we all worked at the Daily Review together, and then we kind of lost track. Rich used to ride a Katana, and we all used to street ride together, and he rode extraordinarily unsafe so often that Charlie and I would be riding side to side, and we just look at each other and make scooping motions, because we figured we'd be scooping Rich off the street. Anyway, when we bought the KLRs, Charlie and I bought them together, and we're signing the papers and stuff, and this guy walks in, and we look at each other, and by God, it's Rich. So we asked him, dude, we're buying these bikes. What do you have? And he's got an XT600 by Yamaha. So we do some dual sport riding in Nevada and on the coast, and awesome. He didn't ride quite so psycho. So anyway, in fact, Rich and I went for like a week and a half ride to Grand Canyon and all through there on North Rim. And my camera failed, and I didn't get any good footage. Broke my heart. Anyway, Rich had bought a Bombardier watercraft, a jet ski, but jet ski is the Kawasaki trade name. Anyway, he's the only guy I've ever known that has successfully lemon lawed something back to the dealer and the manufacturer. But the dealer wouldn't take the trailer back. So Rich, being a handy guy, makes it into a 2-rail motorcycle trailer. So he comes by to pick me up in Stockton, and he's got a little Isuzu Jeep-like deal. So we go up 88, and it's a beautiful day, and we're staying in Carson City, and the next day is Monday, and we get up, and we eat breakfast, and we gas up. Now, the XT doesn't have a huge tank, so we head south, we make our way to US 95, and now, modern 95 has been straightened and widened, but we have dual sport, so we're able to jump off the new road onto the old road, which winds around the hill and not through the hill. Even if it's a tenth or 2/10 of a mile, I eat stuff like that up. So we eventually get to Urington, and we get gas, and we eat. And we're heading south of town on the highway, and God, I don't remember the Nevada State Highway number, but you get south of town a bit, and the road bends 90 degrees. If you're heading south, it bends 90 degrees right, and then eventually ends up at US 395. But we don't want to go that way. We want to head to Aurora. So I had looked at some maps, and I figured that I kind of could find it. So we head south on the dirt road that you take when you don't turn right. You go straight. And we're riding through open Nevada rangeland. We rode by the Baron Hilton Ranch, where he grew raised a bunch of his beef to sell at his restaurants, in his hotels, and we found a mine, a working mine, done in the middle of nowhere. And eventually we find Aurora. I'm going to jump in here and edit. I wasn't thinking when I made this. It's not Mineral County. It's Esmeralda County. And that's Goldfield is now the county seat of Esmeralda County. And it seems to me I've got some notes here. Hold on. I want to add one more thing. In the second still, in the 20-second clip, you see the, the horse and carriage, the stagecoach, going down the main street, and the big brick building on the left, the 2-story brick building, was the Mono County Courthouse. And I wanted to point that out specifically. Okay, I got my notes. Aurora was 3 miles from the true California-Nevada border. It was the sagebrush survey of 1863 that accurately determined the current border. The county seat was moved to Hawthorne in 1883. In 1864, there were 6,000 people, and then by 1870, it was half deserted. So now there's just nothing there. But you saw in the 20-second clip there that there was buildings and stuff there up until the 20s or the 30s. But it's my understanding that almost all that was gone for World War II for either recycling metal for the war effort or using bricks as ballast. So here's the rest of the clip. This is where I'm saddened that there's no digital photography because I have no record of it. I'm never going back to Aurora. I wish I could, but anyway, Aurora is really just a couple of bricks in the dirt and the cemetery. But you know, I look and I tell Rich what this is about. I honestly, I don't know if I took pictures or not, but I don't have them anymore. That's for sure. So we leave Aurora and we're heading west, and we make our way to Bodie, California, which is the historical state park that is in arrested decay, which means that the state is not letting the decay further. It's just not fixing stuff up. So it's like a snapshot of the conditions of the town when the town was abandoned. And then we got done with that, and we rode to Bridgeport and got expensive gas. And then we headed back up 395 back to Carson City. It was a beautiful day, a beautiful ride. One of my bucket list things was always to go to Aurora, and I did. So Storytime with Joe. Thank you for listening.